Hey, it's Mathew. Welcome back to the channel. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I'm a big fan of the blues and R&B music, and I've been promoting a lot of these Bluesville records, the reissue series from Kraft, a collaboration with Acoustic Sounds that are just brilliant. Most of them cut by Kevin Gray. Just a great series of blues music. Huge fan. Well, a couple weeks ago, Chad Cass from Acoustic Sounds announced a new series that really is the essence of R&B music, R&B, blues, gospel, crossing over into early rock and roll, and it's the Chess series. It looks like they're going to be releasing about 2 a month, and they announced the first 6. Now, some of these records I don't have them all in the original configuration. And the thing about Chess Records, important label, started in Chicago by 2 brothers, 2 Jewish immigrants from Poland who came here with their family in the 1920s. And that's Leonard and Phil Chess. And this series of records are long overdue. Now, there have been a lot of issues of these. In fact, I have some here, some that were reissued by MCA going back, one on CD here from the CD days where they would combine twofers of things. A couple I thought I had already in this configuration, and I don't, one in particular, and I'll let you know what that is. But I'm excited about these, and most of these are going to be cut by Mathew Lutthans, and they're released by Acoustic Sounds, and brilliant records, every single one. So I may have to kind of dip into this series. And again, they're apparently from the all analog tapes. Now, these are owned parent company by Universal Music, so apparently these are ones that were saved that weren't destroyed in the fire. So we're going to get into that in a minute, and I'll show you these 6, or at least I'll tell you these 6, show you a couple I have that are close, sort of the artist in question. I want to talk about this book, which is an amazing book, and anybody who's into jazz, blues, that early rock and roll should get this album, Giants of Jazz, by Studs Terkel. A fabulous, fabulous book. When was this first issued? This was originally in 1957, so right in the midst of this. And in fact, a couple of these records, the liner notes, are taken from this book, including the first offering here. So these are being reissued. The first 2 series are coming out on October 17th, and that is The Best of Muddy Waters. This is my Sunday's issue that came out in the last decade or so. I don't know if I'm going to get all of these, because at some point, these mono issues, do I really need to get them? I'm kind of not trying to double up on certain things, but first of all, it's the music, right? The music is paramount, and this is fabulous music. I play this record a lot. I love this period. Now, all, I think, but one of these records are comps. Now, that's the way they were originally issued. This was issued first in 1958. These are singles that were on the R&B charts from 1948 to 1954. Here are the liner notes by Stud Terkel, of course, Muddy Waters. If I have to tell you who he is, you should know. You should know the essence of blues and rock and roll. Such an influence. And of course, one of the great songs is Hoochie Coochie here on this album. Also, Louisiana Blues, Honey Bee, Rolling Stone, and I Just Want to Make Love to You. Yeah, these were all mono 45, so these are mono releases. I think, as far as I know, all of them will be mono and from the master tape. So incredible comp, an incredible record. This was the first LP ever issued by Muddy Waters. Again, a comp of 45s that were on the charts, the R&B charts. Next, I don't have it on vinyl, and I could have sworn I had this record on vinyl. This is Howlin' Wolf's Morning in Moonlight, and his real name was Chester Burnett. Now, this is the comp with these cheesy covers. This is a MCA twofer, 2 for the price of 1. This is 1986. Sounds pretty good to me. Now, it is a comp of 2 albums. These 2 albums, including the aforementioned, the one that's coming out also on October 17th. It recreates the original liner notes that are on both records. This is different than the Studs Terkel books. These are written by Paul Ackerman at the time on the original issues, and it has all the recording dates and details in this CD. But I'm going to get that album because I am a fan. That's the one I could have sworn I had. That Howlin' Wolf album. But what a great blues artist. And if you don't know how I got his name, just listen to his voice and you'll know. Next, coming out on November 21st, Chuck Berry, the godfather, grandfather of rock and roll. This is where chess kind of morphs, and also with the blues, they cross over. And of course, if you don't have a Chuck Berry album, you need a Chuck Berry album. Now, most people go for the greatest hits, and this is, again, another comp. These were singles from 1955 to 1959. This album, Berry is on Top, was originally released in 1959. The only two that I have, and this is a fabulous collection. This is a mono, Chuck Berry's Greatest Hits. Of course it's mono. It should be mono with this. And this has all the great hits. And then I have one that's a kind of a good comp that came out in the 1980s, this particular one. But a lot of these records, you know, there's so many Chuck Berry comps from over the years. This is 28. Great 28. This is really a good comp. As I recall, and I haven't listened to this in a while, this is a really good sounding. Again, this is mono. It's not rechanneled. There were some issues, obviously, in the 70s and beyond, a rechanneled stereo. But what Acoustic Sounds, Chad, and Chest is putting out in this series, obviously, are from the mono tapes. This has some great hits on it. It has Carol, Maybelline, Sweet Little Rock and Roller, Johnny Be Good, Little Queenie, Roll Over Beethoven. So it's essentially hits, the R&B hits, the rock and roll hits that came out in the late 50s there. It also has a one that wasn't a hit, I believe, called Blues for Hawaiians that ends the record on that. Now, I don't have this particular record, but this is a classic, and I will get it. Again, this is one I could have sworn I owned a copy of. It's At Last by Etta James. And this originally was on the Argo label, which was an offshoot of Chess, which was more their jazz label. And it became sort of a jazz with jazz vocalists and jazz musicians. And I only have this really cool comp from the early 70s. This is a French import. And the reason I have this is because for some reason back in the 70s when I worked in that record store in San Francisco, we kept bringing this record in stock. And as I recall, it was our favorite comp. And I bought it because this was played in the store all the time. To us 20-year-olds, we were playing this comp. This is Etta James Peaches, and this has At Last on it. Now, there are some songs that I just love and just are killer songs that aren't on this album, At Last. Although At Last, her debut album, is an incredible record, so I will be picking that up when it comes out. This has Tell Mama on it, which is not on that album. Why am I telling you these things? Because they're the great records to get, great music to get. It's about the music. But that At Last record is a great record overall, and I think out of these first six, that's the only in this Chess release, the only album in this Chess release, the first six album, that was made as a complete album, not singles pulled together for comps, greatest hits comps that Chess put out in the late 1950s. So 1960s, At Last. One of my favorite songs in it that we used to play all the time in the record store back then, Stop the Wedding. You hear this organ. If there's anybody in this hall who thinks that this man and woman should not be hooked together, whatever, however it goes, she just yells, stop, stop, stop the wedding. This organ comes in. It's a friggin' fantastic song, Stop the Wedding. I love it. Anyway, this is a great comp. If you can find it, grab it. It's a good sounding comp. I don't know the DNA of the tapes on this, but being from France, I doubt it's master tapes. But it's still a cool-ass comp. And what a great artist. At Last is one of those important records and should be in everybody's collection. So kudos to that release as well. Then, December 12th, the final two albums for now, and I hopefully into the new year, into 2026. God, who knows if we're going to be around in 2026 the way things are going here. But in 2026, I'm sure there'll be more rollouts of other records too on the Chess label. But December 12th, The Best of Little Walter, 1958. This is one that also has liner notes by Studs Terkel from that book, Giants of Jazz. Look at this beautiful cover image. And this is also one of those records that pulls singles he had from 1952 to 55, plus a couple of B-sides to make up this comp. And this was released originally in 1958. What a great record. The king of the blues harmonica, post-World War II blues harmonica, probably influenced every blues player, black or white, post-World War II, who played in the blues, crossover Charlie Musselwhite, Paul Butterfield, all the blues players, even Lee Oskar, even though he plays more of a chromatic harmonica some of the time. A great album and great songs on here, of course. My Babe, Sad Hours, You're So Fine, Blues with a Feelin', Mean Old World, Tell Me Mama. Great record. So this is one. Do I get another one? This is a Sunday's release from about 2018 or so. And I have a lot of these on CDs too, but the blues, this is the great stuff. I'm excited about this set. Chad, if you're watching, I doubt, but if you're watching, all the power to you. And lastly, also coming out on December 12th, along with the Etta James record in this release, and the last of the initial 6 releases, is Sonny Boy Williamson, The Real Folk Blues. Fantastic harmonica player, the country blues. I am a huge fan of folk country blues, even a little more so than the Electric Chicago Blues, which I love too. Now, all the songs are written by Sonny Boy Williamson, except That's All I Want, which was written by Willie Dixon. And this is a fantastic record. This has liner notes by Willie Dixon. This was originally put out as a comp, again, like most of the rest, aside from the Etta James, in 1966. This has sides, R&B sides from 1957 through 1964. Another great album from this Chess series. This one originally released in 1966 and coming out on the 75th anniversary of Chess Records. So those are the first 6 titles announced by Acoustic Sounds for the Chess 75th anniversary series. A lot of anniversary series lately, have you noticed that? But I think it's great they're putting these out, and Matt Lutthans cutting them. They're probably going to be fantastic. In fabulous mono coming out over the next few months, and then hopefully another series into the next year. So thanks a lot for watching. Mathew loves you.